Now there's a couple of target price for Tesla stock out there, and I'm talking about $1,200. And there's three top things that in either case, if one of these three things will happen, I think the company, the stock Tesla, can go up 30% more from these levels to reach 1,200. And how long does it take and what should happen? All about it here in this vlog.
Wolf of Dubai.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button because we're diving directly into the vlog, and we are talking about three cases that will push Tesla further to $1,200 per share if either of this will move on and develop. First one, a strong Q1 earnings quarter that will be just announced in a couple of weeks. Second, very important is also how the market trend will continue. Currently, it's looking very positive. And number three is the battery day, and now we will just dive in directly into the strong Q1 earnings. So first of all, you need to understand that the Q1 business is usually low, one of the lowest quarters, and it was also one of the lowest quarters always for Tesla. Lost a lot of money last Q1 2019, and therefore everybody's saying, hey, let's wait what Tesla will do there in Q1. So everybody expecting also low numbers. The expectation are somewhere around minus $400 million in loss, and therefore also the coronavirus is out there, which stopped the factory in China for a couple of days. And moreover, you know, the Q4 is always so strong, and it was so strong for Tesla, with also some bonuses of subsidy from governments ending in 2019. Therefore, Q1 will and was always challenging for the whole car industry because people want to get the cars in the Q4. There was a lot of specials that the car manufacturer are giving out there to reduce their inventory, to sell all the cars, to make their numbers last year work, and therefore the Q1 is really low. But this gives us a chance because there's actually a couple of things. First, we know that the China factory is already back in operation. It was just a smart expected shutdown, and therefore maybe this can be a huge impact. Though the CFO says the contribution is still low, we can or analysts can be very surprised how much contribution this can bring to Tesla overall. Second, we looked into some of the delivery times. I have looked in the Middle East. The first Model 3 should be delivered by Tesla in the beginning of 2020, right? But currently the website says that May is the earliest day to become a Model 3 owners. This means that the demand seems to be high before they start to shipping to Middle East, to Dubai, and also on the website in the US, the delivery time is usually, not that much, but currently it's 3 to 5 weeks. This means that there seems to be a lot of demand, a lot of orders for the Model 3, and therefore I believe that the question really in Q1 will be how much more they can produce in the US as main factory, how they can ramp up production over there, and can they sell a lot and lots of cars. Maybe they have some incentives events again in the end of Q1, which was very successful in the Q4 of 2019, which sold many thousands of cars, and we should be very surprised or maybe easily surprised if the quarter is not that bad. And if this happening, plus we have maybe some news of the Model Y deliveries or the first hands-on, and good news about that, I think this could be a factor that pushes the stock over 1,000, over 1,100, over $1,200 in the next couple of months. So this is factor number one. Let's talk about factor number 2. This is the general market trend. Now we know that the Fed is currently printing a lot of money and putting into the system, same like other banks, and lots of money going into the stock market because there's very less alternative to stocks on the market. And then if you're seeing this developing growth stories, then people are easily put their money into Tesla. So I guess if the whole market goes further up, I think this will bring Tesla even outperforming the market, and therefore I believe if the market goes further, this can give us the next 10-20% to Tesla, and also things like coronavirus that push the market just a little bit down to push it more to new highlights. We see that China is currently saying that they have vaccinations options out there now. We should be very curious if this works. That might be stopping the coronavirus. So very interesting what will happen there. And the overall market looks great in terms of further growth. And if the valuation is still reasonable, this is another video. This is another talk over here, but I think the second big point here that can further the stock up to 1,200 levels is the overall market. Now the third option that can push the stock very higher than $1,200 can be the battery day in April. Now this is just 2 months away, but it can be mind-blowing. Elon Musk himself promised mind-blowing technology, and believe me, if he as a nerd is saying that there's the mind-blowing technology, then this is something that we really can expect something big. I was putting a whole video about that here on this channel if you want to know a little bit more about the battery itself, but we can maybe expect a solid state battery or something similar in this range that will make the battery longer lasting, that it will make it more range, that will make it more mass produced, and how Tesla can actually produce so much batteries in the next couple of years, because they will make millions or have to make millions. And we saw that this was a bottleneck for Tesla in the last couple of years, and with Panasonic. And we had also seen news that Tesla is piloting testing the production of own production of battery cells. This would be breaking news here for the battery, because we know that a battery costing somewhere around $10,000, maybe $8,000 for a Model 3, and therefore if they can reduce this price or make it much better than the competition, then I can see that this can be another push forward to the stock, because they also recently purchased 2 battery companies. One was the Hyber Systems for manufacturing, and then the Maxwell Technologies for further patents and high tech over there. So this is the third thing that can push the stock over $1,200. Let's jump into the conclusion. So first of all, I want to tell you that I am not the one that is jumping on the stock, the Tesla push or the market push the stock to 1,200 and then go out of the market. I'm a long-term value and growth investor. I'm looking for really value in companies if they're producing a great product, if the management is great, if the execution is fantastic, if the idea behind the vision is there, and there's much more to come, and the company growth. And all of this is packaged in Tesla very nicely, and therefore I'm staying in the stock for the next 10 years, hopefully, if the vision and everything stays the same. And energy business is also just starting with solar and battery presentations that just blowed my mind when I saw the return of investment on these products by Tesla as well. For example, with the biggest battery in Australia that was delivered a couple of months ago. And therefore, there's so much excitement, and therefore I'm not want that Tesla grow too fast with the stock, because then, you know, we will go on a crazy roller coaster, because my idea behind is not to get out of the stock with a high price. It's rather holding it until maybe we will reach these stock targets of ARK Investments of $15,000 one day. We will see. However, this is a long-term approach, and if you are looking for something to allocate some capital in for a long term, then Tesla is definitely an option. These are just 3 short or medium terms options which will push the stock further up, maybe over $1,200. We shall see. I'm very, very exciting, and you should be too.